report Mitchell and Yancey positives.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I hate
But,
to see the numbers. Yeah.
I'm just giving you our gross numbers that includes those out of state areas and or out of the area numbers. So I think our local, it's a little, yeah, we haven't been able to slice and dice the data, but I think our local percentages are down around the 5-6% generally.
Right.
Like 3 of the positives, no, we had 5 positives yesterday in Yancey, but 2 came from where they've come back for a second round of testing, see if they're still, you know, shedding the germs, and they're positive. So, you know, you don't count those.
Right.
So there's only 3 in Yancey.
So just out of curiosity, how long would they have been? Like, would it have been 2 weeks since they were tested before? I mean, not to disclose anything about that, but just in general, how long did they stay positive?
In general, we're asking them to come in when they're 5 to 8 days past their possible exposure.
Right. And then how about when you do a follow-up positive for someone who's quarantined after they were positive or whatever?
That's rarely done. I mean, that's not done often. I don't know we don't have a standard on that. So I don't know the details there. I think they just came back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they're under the care of their provider, they would. Now these people may not have had much symptoms, and they may just wanted to see, you know, where they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've been so slammed, haven't had a chance to talk to the lead nurse about stuff like that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. George Walters, the other George. Hey, after the search meeting the other night, I realized, my gosh, I've got somebody I need to talk to around here. I didn't realize you were so learned in the rural health care area experience.
Started the program off. I think I had the first grant in the Southeast.
Okay, well, we won't take everybody else's time up, but golly, I'd love to bend your ear and learn something from you.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been in it, but I did want to talk to you about the Uniform Data System. We used to call it the Bureau Common Reporting Requirements eons ago.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, did you say the UDS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to see what, I was just curious how it's improved.
Well, you know, we've only had, my only experience has been since I've been here and since we became an FQ, but it's getting better. The frustrating part is it's always over a year old, the data. So
yeah,
it's kind of ancient history.
Yeah, it's probably the same, most of the same items that used to be on what they called the Bureau Common Reporting Requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And they were a year old, you know, and you provide a staff, it changed twice by the time it came back around.
Oh, I know. And your numbers, you know, you look, you report to the board, you say, you know, these are numbers from 2019, and here we are in 20, and yeah. But it takes a while to compile everything from all the health centers across the country.
Yeah.
Those of you who are just coming in, would you like to join George, Nero, and Nelson in purchasing a wheel ticket? Or ace of spades? Let's see,
Yep, each.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to pick your numbers, or you want me to just randomly put you on there?
I like 25 and 50.
Okay.
And I'll take that as a standing order if you want, or you can make that.
Okay, I can do that. You'll have those same numbers every time.
Robin,
Until they don't win, then I want to change.
Let's see. Bill Carson, you want to give me numbers? You want me to randomly put you on here?
Oh, you're better at picking than I am. You and George both.
Tina, I thought I heard you.
yeah, can you just put me down permanently and you pick the numbers and $5 in cart?
Okay. let's see, that's on the wheel. How about 16 and 78?
Okay.
Which you did perfect.
Robin, I'll take numbers.
On the wheel?
Yes, please.
Okay, 34
Okay.
and 57. Is that permanent or just today?
No, permanent's fine. Isn't it?
Okay. We got an echo somewhere.
Boy, his phone's on.
Might be Mr. Nelson. He's
Might
He's so-
be, yeah.
so important. He's on here twice.
One of them so I can hear and the other one so I can see.
So,
Nelson, you've been busy.
yeah, he is.
I was wondering if anybody got that email.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that email. We appreciate that.
I'm hoping we can see some different names on that board, see if anybody actually takes me up on it.
Yeah. Anybody want Ace of Spades? George and Nelson also have them too. Let's see. Okay, Bill Carson will be number 2 today. Anybody else?
Me?
Take 2 for the wheel, Robin.
Okay.
Sally.
You want to give me some numbers, or you want me to randomly pick?
Random. If I give you a number, somebody will say I cheated.
No, you always show us when you spin.
I do.
We
Okay,
think you got it fixed anyway.
13 and 68.
Magnets. I think you got magnets on it.
Yeah, he does.
I do.
Stop it spinning.
How's your shoulder, Alex?
It's better. It's just going to PCD and it's still sore, but it's this. It feels like I've got a log tied to me and I have to sleep with that log.
Ooh,
Mm.
that's gotta
So
be
is
rough.
it still
You're not
numb?
doing jumping jacks, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't have any use of this arm hardly at all.
Wow.
Looks like you've lost some of your equipment, though.
Lost what?
Some of your equipment that you had last week.
Oh
Didn't you
no.
have that-
Oh yeah,
Bob.
the eye circulator's gone. That's good.
You know, Alex, somebody told me that, you know, when the rest of us start manure, we just have to move our lips.
Yes.
Hey guys, this is Tina. Since I've been having sketchy internet, Robin, if you or Nelson could introduce our guest today when she comes on, that would probably be safer than me trying.
And that's
I'll let
Dahlia.
Nelson do it.
I'll have to stop eating.
Tina, how do you pronounce your name?
I was sort of practicing that and I was thinking it was Thalia.
Okay. There you go, Mr. Walters. We can see you better now. You were a little blurred.
You're muted.
We've been house cleaning.
Ah, okay. Somebody sprayed it with Windex, huh?
Yeah, we had grandchildren since the 1st of June.
Oh,
Are they gone now?
Last one went last Sunday.
boy, you're a good grandparent.
Well, we enjoy it. It's
Good.
just we're not fast enough to catch the little ones anymore.
Yeah.
If you need a house to clean, you can come over to mine.
Mm.
We'll come pick beans out of the garden. We'll help you that way.
Good neighbor.
Hey, Reed.
How are you, George? Good to see you.
And Miss Cindy,
Yes, sir.
I noticed today some announcements of some papers closing. None of the local ones, but goodness gracious, it's tough in the newspaper world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is tough.
Yeah.
And it's a lot like, I think, what's happening with businesses and Amazon. You know, you can get your news so much faster, you know,
Yeah.
online than in print. So yeah, it's pretty tough. What you lose is all your local news and sports and all that. But like this year, there's nothing going on, so it's probably going to be even harder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed. Being from Orlando, I noticed the Orlando Sentinel was one of those that was shut down, or at least the news.
Oh, that's too bad.
Down. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets tougher and tougher. There's no doubt about that. And of course, look at Brandon's new job is all online. So his job doesn't print anything. So it's a little scary.
Yeah.
Anybody getting tired of eating green beans and squash out of the garden yet?
No, I never get tired of that.
I'm running out of recipes for squash.
Yes, most people, when
All
they
three of
introduce
them.
themselves,
There was a good one in the paper the other day, Nelson, and in the Asheville paper that had bacon and cheese in it, and that looked pretty good.
I got gallbladder issues. I can't do that bacon anymore.
Oh, okay.
Have you done the garlic and Parmesan?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's easy too.
That's what's on this now.
I saw, got some from North, was it the state magazine, NC State Magazine came through online, and it was a recipe for a pecan pie, a bourbon pecan pie. And
I saw that.
I made that. That was pretty good.
I have that recipe.
Was it good? I bet.
Yeah, yeah.
Very rich.
My wife, who's kind of on a semi-diet type thing, she said, "Why'd you do that to me? What's going on?" I went to the store and the fresh pecans were on sale, and okay, that's an omen. I got to make this recipe.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you can either eat it all yourself or take it to work. I'm sure it won't last long at work.
Yeah, we're not able to leave. You know, yeah, that doesn't work too well anymore, unfortunately.
No, probably not. Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Well, that just leaves eating it all by yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to struggle through it. I will say, I think next time I'll leave the bourbon out. That didn't add that much to it.
Just makes it richer.
Yeah, richer, little. Yeah, I'm kind of traditionalist. I like just plain old pecan pie. Well, Mr. Bill, welcome. Dr. Marvin. We'll get this party started here in a minute. See if we can get a few more coming in.
Robin, I like your barn door.
What barn door?
Wasn't there a sliding door that you had Matt Hollifield make?
No.
Did you
That
forward
wasn't
that?
me.
Or? Oh, okay.
He
You must
refinished
have
a Hoosier cabinet for me a while back.
I thought I saw your name on that. It was one of those big barn doors, and what's the name of his business? Dirty Bridges or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
I thought it
I
was
was
your
going to
barn
ask you
door.
about
Okay.
that.
Okay.
No, that
Well, I
was
saw it on
mine.
a forward, and I said, well, that's pretty cool.
He refinished a Hoosier cabinet for me, though, and he did a really good job.
Yeah, he does good stuff with wood. He likes to do that.
It belonged to Brooks's grandmother.
Oh, nice.
It looks great.
It's nice to get the old stuff restored.
Mhm.
You make them useful again. Too bad we can't do that to ourselves, huh?
Yeah.
I'm curious about Alex. How you doing with that arm, and what's the report on the earthquake?
Good. Arm's good, but it shook my arm loose again. Not really, but arm's doing good, just sore, and continued PT therapy, which is good. And the earthquake that's the first earthquake I've ever felt. And it's just neat, the feeling that you have. And everybody asks, what was that? What was that? And of course, the house shook and the clock chimed and the horse water was sloshing. It's no doubt those are key characteristics of an earthquake, but that was an unusual, and it was really neat. One of my geophysics friends from University of North Carolina visited Sparta, and they think it was actually a reverse fault. So that's when the fault goes backwards and goes into the ground. So that was pretty neat.
Wow. Well, before Chuck starts, does anybody else want wheel tickets or Ace of Spades? You all that just came in?
I'll take both.
This is Glenn. Oh,
Okay.
one
Both?
of each.
You want to pick your numbers? You want me to?
I'll go with 22 if that works.
Oh, somebody already has that one.
All right, just pick any random number then.
Okay.
Okay.
You can pick
That's
mine,
funny.
Robin.
That's funny. The wheel never stops on it, and 2 people picked it.
I know. Okay, Marvin, I'll give you 2 also.
I can tell you why Glenn picked it.
Why?
That's his birthday, October 22nd.
Oh.
I can't remember that, then I really got a problem.
Hey,
2 for him today.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bob, welcome to joining us. You just joined, and Robin is asking if the new joiners want to get numbers for the wheel and for Ace of Spades.
Oh, sure.
You want to pick your numbers? You want me to pick for you?
Well, I don't know what numbers have been chosen, but go with a single digit number for me, would you?
Oh, single digit ones?
I'm a single digit kind of guy.
Okay, I'll put you on number 1 then.
All right. Now I have to ask a question here before we get started. How do I respond to my wife today who wants to know if Rotary can see whether or not you're wearing pants? I look at her with a blank stare. I have no idea how to respond.
You simply don't know.
Well, I said, we don't know, but maybe it's No Pants Thursday. They do this all the time on the radio. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just wear sweats or pajamas or whatever. Bob, did you want a Ace of Spades?
Robin, you can sign Felkel a number, please.
Okay.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
I need a number. Robin, it's Jamie. I need a number 2, please.
For wheel or Ace of Spades?
Oh, both.
Now, just because you're on one screen, you still got to pay full price. You can get
Okay, I'm just random.
Is that negotiable?
You don't get them half price.
Did you get it?
All right, well, we're a little bit past the time. If we can get started. Reed, would you mind?
Yes.
Would you mind leading us into prayer and pledge allegiance?
I'd be glad to. Let's all stand, if you can, for a prayer and pledge.
Well, then you'd see if I have the pants on or not.
Not if you keep your camera pointed right.
There you go.
Okay, you guys got me off my prayer train. Dear Lord, we thank you for this another beautiful day, and we thank you for safety. And although our numbers keep going up, we We feel safe in our environment because you've given us such a wonderful world here in Mitchell County and surrounding areas to live in, and we thank you for that. We ask you to be with those that are not as fortunate, watch over and care for those who are sick, be with our fellow Rotarians. Now, amen, and let's do our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. All right. Get our camera set back. So, Bob, did that answer your question about whether we have pants or not, or your wife's question?
I know what to say to her, Chuck. Thank you. This is.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining. We got a larger than usual crowd today. Thank you, and we appreciate that. And we'll get to some of Nelson's work along that line here. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first of all, any Rotary business announcements, I should say?
I'd like to propose another trash pickup. In May, we had a very successful one, and I think we maintained our social distance. I'm looking at August the 27th, which is I believe that's a Wednesday. I hope it is. At 5:30, if that's okay with everyone. We're doing a trash pickup.
Out there at Ledger, beautiful downtown Ledger. And I have George and I were on a search Zoom meeting the other night. Chuck, you were there. They're really pushing the census, and I hope every Rotarian that's listening has filed their census, but there are lots of people out there, friends and neighbors, who have not, apparently. Mm-hmm. So I'd like for us as Rotarians to push that with people that we come in contact with. Dr. Walker, you see a lot of patients, and that wouldn't be inappropriate, would it, for you to just remind them how important the census are? You don't have to ask them whether they've done it, they'll volunteer that. But so let's all work toward that. That means a lot of money for Mitchell and Yancey counties that we live in. So put the word out. We only have September 30th. Mm-hmm. And that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up, Reed. And that money is, I hadn't seen a number put to it before, but at search they were talking about $1,800 per person per county per year. So that's a lot of money. It could be higher. I think they were kind of indicating that was a minimum of $1,800. Some numbers, or some say it might be as much as $4,000. So this is huge for our counties. And they also had, you can go to, what is it? Is it Count Me In? I can't remember the name of the website, but you can go and look at how much your county is, or the areas of your county that, in the percentages of responses. Looked like northern Mitchell County was low, and then the southwest part of Yancey County was low in the two areas that they're working. So yeah, thank you. That's very important that we did. We're at the clinic. We're putting that out on our social media sites, also reminding everybody. We put the posters up in the clinics. So,
Reed, was that the 26th for the trash pickup?
So Wednesday. Let me check my calendar. I thought I wrote down.
It's 26th. It's a Wednesday. 27th.
Okay, 26th Thursday. Okay, we want to do it on a Wednesday because that's your day.
That'll be the 26th then.
Yes, thank you for correcting me.
While I'm speaking, I'd like to say that I saw Ruthie Stiles on Tuesday, and she's the now current president of the Avery County Rotary Club. So they're meeting by Zoom, she said, and doing pretty good.
Mhm.
I got another thank you card this time from Bethany Grindstaff. And she said, "Thank you so much for the money given to my business during these strange times. Kindness and generosity is what we all need right now. Thank you again so much." From Bethany.
Cool.
Well, I think that's a good lead into, I hope most everybody or everybody has seen Nelson's email that he sent out today in regarding the research that he did. Took it upon himself to go out and do some research and talk to businesses, local businesses. So Nelson, you want to tell us about what you found?
Sure. On Monday, I usually do my trash drop off at Alta Pass. And on the way out, I had Kelly Bryant, I had his daughter Brandy, I had Chris at the car or at the suds and wash thingy, Cox out at the motor repair place, and I've got 15 different cards. And I was posing them questions, what I sent out on the email. And I was really surprised to find out a lot of them were pretty proud about not wanting the money. They didn't want to say that their business needed any help, and they were passing me off to somebody else. And that's kind of like how my little journey took place on Monday, was going to a place that they recommended. So I was really surprised that they were really adept about being able to adapt and the change what they had to do with masks, with cleaning, trying to finagle the money around with the help and with the hours. They were really good about being able to be flexible in how they presented their business. So everybody was doing a really good job. And the ones that I talked to, they were telling me some things like they needed help. I was at Kelly Bryant's house, or his place, and he needed somebody to answer the phone because people were coming in the door. They were dropping off anything that needed repaired, and he looks like he had somebody just answer his phone because his wife wasn't there. But they were saying that more people are laid off and accepting the government handout and not wanting to work. And that was one of their big issues, you know. So I did day 2, and a lot of them were just, I presented the questions to them, and they were just flat out coming out and telling me how busy they were, and they didn't want any money, and they just wanted more help with their business, and, you know, just to hire some people. You know, so they were naming off other businesses that I can't even remember. So I just took their cards down and I sent them out the email to invite them to our meeting. It doesn't look like anybody has joined, but I should have done it yesterday, but I got busy. And I'll try it again later and see what I can get suited up for them. You know, maybe I'll pass out the meeting with Robin's permission and yours to review the meeting, like some people, if they can't make it, and, you know, and try it again and see what happens. But yeah, I had a really good response. A lot of them, it was like 10 or 15 minutes and sometimes even more about things that they wanted to talk about, what they thought can be improved around the area. And I was just really impressed about how candid they were and what they wanted to get off their chest. But I was happy to see nobody wanted the money. They just didn't want it. And I don't know what to say there. But I've got another idea for a meeting like next Thursday. I want to go to one of those businesses and do a remote at 12 o'clock from their place and see if I can get them snagged up into Rotary that way too.
Maybe part of the use of the money is to help defray their first year membership or something. If that's, I don't know if you even talk to them about the cost. Is it the cost of the membership that may be keeping them away?
Well, a lot of them, they were busy. They didn't really have time. And a few of them did ask about joining in, and I was happy to hear about that. And I wished I was a good ambassador and was able to present myself a little bit better, but I really wasn't looking for the kind of time that they were wanting to give. And I wanted to get off and get to another business. But for those 2 days, man, I spent a lot of time away from the house. You know, once I took off, I was gone for about 4 hours each day, just talking to folks. It was really nice. I enjoyed it.
Nelson, this is Bob. It's interesting you say that because I've had a lot of financial advisors who I work with around the country who took the money back then with the PPP loans. 2 months later, they now have to disclose it to their clients, and they're embarrassed and they're trying to give the money back, and they're backpedaling. They're sorry they ever took the money, even though they technically qualified. It really wasn't meant for them. It's kind of like these big public companies that took the money that really shouldn't have gotten it. Interesting.
Right.
Same issue for you on a smaller scale, but you know, a lot of people are not wanting to take it. They're not wanting to acknowledge that that even though they're eligible, they just shouldn't take it. It's just an ethical thing.
Hey, a lot of these businesses are really proud, and they don't want to ask for the help or take it.
Yep.
You know, I think they really got to be backed up against the wall in order for them to accept it. And you know, it just makes me proud about the small business, how they're willing to change, and they're going to fight through this no matter what.
Yep.
You know, so I was really happy to see that. I told them about where I came from in Northeast Ohio and how devastated that our area was with the steel mills in the 70s, and likewise with the furniture business and the hosiery businesses down here. You guys were hit the same way. And I said, hey, I just didn't want to see what happened to Northeast Ohio happen down here to Spruce Pine. And then I posed the question later on, you know, what would you guys like to see change? And they were open up and were telling me what they thought, you know, that they would like to see happen. But like I said, nobody wanted that money at all. Not at all.
Values.
Right.
Yep.
I appreciate that you made that effort, Nelson, and went out and did the hard work of going door to door on that one. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm going to grab the committee chairperson, and we're going to go out and go do some more searching if I can get him. George.
Very good. Very good. Well,
He's been busy lately.
Since we got started a little late, we're running a little bit over, so we want to get to our guest speaker. Any other announcements, Rotary announcements? If not, we can quickly roll into happy dollars. Any happy dollars?
I give a happy dollar to all the businesses that didn't want our money.
Yeah.
I have a happy dollar for being a proud member of this organization and all the generosity that you all bestow on people in time of need. I think that's, y'all step up every time, and I'm very proud to be part of it.
And I'll add a dollar along the same line. And I know that one of the proud things that we've done as an organization is help support one of our members, but I don't see her on today. So.
She's having her COVID test before her surgery.
Okay.
Hey, you guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's okay. Can you see me?
No.
Okay. We had trouble with our audio on the computer, so I just dialed in on my cell phone. So I don't know why we were having trouble with our audio on the computer, but I can hear you all. I have a happy dollar. I can see and hear you all. I have a happy dollar, and that's our niece who we're very close to. She just graduated with a online program, a fellowship through Johns Hopkins University with her psychiatric nursing master's degree. And she was only a handful of people that were taken into the fellowship and graduated. So we're very proud of her.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And that's a field that has a great need. So I'm glad that she's turned into. that area. Wonderful.
Chuck, it's Bob. I have a happy dollar from my daughter that just moved into a new home because now I know I have to move her again.
Bob, where is she?
She's in DC.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right. Well, if you don't have any more happy dollars, Alex, you want to spin real quick?
$5 for cart.
Oh, yeah, we'll do that.
I'll put $5 in for cart, and Glenn will put $5 in for cart.
You guys are great.
He spun it.
22.
What number is it, Alex? You're muted.
Unmute, Alex.
18. Sorry, 18.
18?
Yes.
Nobody.
Okay, here we go again. Two.
Nobody.
Somebody had one, but nobody had two.
Right. Here we go again. $19.
19. That's Glenn.
Oh, Glenn, yay. Don't tell him he stepped out of the room. The money's all mine.
He wins $6.
Okay. Better than a kick in the britches.
That's right.
Add that to what we owe with carts. So we'll send in $16.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think Tina was asking that because of her connection, she might not be able to properly introduce our speaker. Robin, are you able to do that?
No, I'll do it.
Nelson's
Nelson, okay.
Hey, everybody from the Pisgah Legal Group. This is Thalia Hoy, and she's going to give us a 5 or 10 minute show and take some questions. So take it away, Thalia. I hope I did your name correctly.
Thank you for having me. My name, it's actually Thalia Hoy with Pisgah Legal Services. I am out of our Asheville office. I'm going to start my timer here because since you guys don't know me, you don't know that I'm a talker. And I really want to make sure that y'all have time to ask me some questions and any clarification that you might need at the end. There's always a lot to talk about. I just celebrated 17 years of employment with Pisgah Legal Services. So I love my job. I've been there a long time. I work on the domestic violence prevention team and the immigration team. And I'll get to that in just a little bit. But what I'm going to do is just give you a brief overview of Pisgah Legal Services and then what Pisgah Legal Services looks like in 2020 with the pandemic and how we're running everything. Give you a few updates that are pertinent, and then some specifics to Mitchell County and the Spruce Pine area. So, for those of you who don't know us, let me see if I can screen share real quick. We are, these seem to work different in each thing. I'm not going to screen share you guys looking at yourselves, that's for sure. Okay, can you guys see that? Just nod your heads. No?
No.
Not yet. Okay. Can you see that?
It's yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Well, this is the slide for the immigration program, the Justice for All project, but that is one of several projects at Pisgah. Our overall goal is to provide free civil legal aid, legal representation to people who need help meeting their basic needs. So that might be housing, That might be access to school. It might be an appeal on a benefit denial, or in the case of the team that I work on, the immigration team, it is helping undocumented individuals and immigrants access some sort of a status, a legal status in the United States, maybe a visa, maybe a green card. And so we cover, most of our programs cover 10 counties, kind of all situated around Buncombe County, but our immigration project covers 18 counties, Mitchell County being one of them, as well as Yancey County. I'm going to scoot you down to the map, if you can see the map down there. So we cover really a very large part of Western North Carolina. In normal circumstances, we travel a lot. We go out and we visit with our clients, and we do comprehensive immigration evaluations to see if someone who doesn't have any status might have a path, might have an application, maybe some sort of a petition that we can file for them in order for them to get legal work authorization in the United States. Let me scoot you back up a little bit. So who is eligible for our help? Immigrants. So about in the late 80s, Pisgah Legal Services broke from the Legal Services Corporation throughout the United States. And that allows us to represent undocumented individuals. We have 3.5 full-time grant writers and development staff that work to procure what is now over a $5 million annual budget for Pisgah Legal Services. And we don't have, we're able to represent undocumented individuals. Other legal aid organizations are not able to do that, except in the case when someone might be a victim of domestic violence. So we really try to focus on the most vulnerable populations in all of the counties that we serve. And obviously someone who doesn't have permission to work, a driver's license, they are particularly vulnerable. So that is why we offer all of these immigration services. We do consults, we figure out if anything is available for someone, and if so, we are able to help them file to the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service to hopefully get some status. Those cases take a very long time. I have over 180 cases, and the reason my caseload is so large is because the average length of time that one of my immigration clients is waiting to hear back about their petition is about 8 years. So most people don't understand the lengthy process that it is to get status in the United States. But that's what we do. I am not an attorney, but I am a Department of Justice fully accredited representative. Sorry there, let me stop. It's a long title, but what it means is as long as I am working at Pisgah Legal Services, I'm able to represent immigrants before the Immigration Service, United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, or in immigration court, which our closest court is in Charlotte, North Carolina. And if I'm going to court, that means I'm taking a case because someone is in the active process of being removed or deported from the United States. And in some instances, we're able to defend people against being removed. So split my time doing all those things. Our team, the immigration team particularly, we have 2 full-time immigration attorneys, and then there is another member who, like myself, has the accreditation. So we've got 4 full-time staff who are evaluating, representing, and filing applications on behalf of immigrants throughout all of Western North Carolina. We're a pretty sophisticated show, and we're very much needed because there are only about 3 immigration attorneys practicing west of Charlotte. So there's a real need. As we all know, there's a large number of immigrants living in Western North Carolina, and having competent legal services to represent them is very important. So that's what I do at Pisgah on the immigration team. My specialty is working with victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, so kind of an even more vulnerable population. But we have a full-time crew. We do a pretty good job. We're functioning a little differently right now in the pandemic, just like everyone is. We're the entire staff, the entire Pisgah staff, over 80 people. We are all working remotely. We have been doing that since March 16th. And I will give a super shout out to Pisgah Legal. They have prioritized our staff's health. As soon as everything sort of moved to the stay home, stay safe environment, I had printers and computers and paper arriving at my house. We are all working on Zoom. We're working in Teams. Our wonderful HR department even got us access to mental health services. We have the Employee Assistance Network that individuals who are employed at Pisgah Legal can utilize and do short counseling sessions and stress reduction sessions. But it's been a lot of change. And we've also seen a change in our flow, our requests for help. We are currently receiving 1,000 calls a week for service at Pisgah Legal. 1,000 calls a week. Of course, we can't take all of those, and we don't represent all of those. Sometimes it's not even the type of case that we handle in our office. Say if it's criminal, we don't do any criminal defense, we don't do any traffic defense, but we're still taking the time to make appropriate referrals for those people and hopefully get them hooked up with somebody who can help them out. We've also hired 11 new staff in 2020, so we're growing. We've been able to secure some really good funding, and our offices are growing. We opened an office in Burnsville, right there on 19, sort of between Family Dollar and McDonald's. And we had that open for all of maybe 2.5 months before we all started doing distance working. So our office is still there, and we hope to get that up and running again when it's safe and when it's advisable. Our attorneys who do eviction and domestic violence protection orders, a lot of them are doing those on an as-need basis. We're certainly handling crises, and we are helping people ask for continuances when that's appropriate in order to, if someone's unwell or can't travel or is a vulnerable population and needs to stay out of the courthouse. I have a colleague, Olivia Williams, who I think will be presenting to you guys a little more in depth in a couple of weeks on what our domestic violence work in Avery, Mitchell, and Yancey County looks like, as well as our landlord-tenant work. But that's not my wheelhouse, so I'll leave that for her. We, in terms of Spruce Pine, Mitchell County updates, we're really excited because every year we have a big event called Java for Justice, and we get area coffee shops and cafes to allow us to come in normally in years past and interact with customers and talk to them about our services. And a portion of the proceeds that they make that day, they often donate to us. This year we're doing it Thursday, September 3rd. And we have got three participants up in Mitchell County at DT's Blue Ridge Java, Lee's County Cafe, and Penland Coffee House in Bakersville are all going to be supporting us in our Java for Justice event. So that's Thursday, September 3rd. If you want to leave the house to drink coffee, that'd be a good day to choose to go do it. Mask up and go out. We're also looking for reasonably priced office space in Spruce County and in Mitchell County, somewhere probably in Spruce Pine. We had a little office running for a little bit out in Bakersville, but that was pretty hard to get to, and we were only able to keep that open for about 6 months, maybe 8 months. So now we're going to try to relocate into Spruce Pine. So if anybody has any connections or knows of reasonably priced office space, do please follow up with me, and I'll get you in touch with the right people. We also are just, someone asking a question? Sorry. We have you know, just recently really added Mitchell County and Avery County and Yancey County, the Amy counties. And let me see if I can find some of our statistics. In 2019, we served 192 folks in Mitchell County alone. 96 of them were escaping domestic violence. And so it's really critical that we know how to reach the community. And because we're relatively new up in that area, we're not sure, you know, we're always looking for suggestions and recommendations about who to do presentations to, who to do outreach to, and who we can go to for sort of our resource needs. So if you guys have names or you think of something, you can always get in touch with me. I will make sure to send my contact information when we get done with this. And also Olivia Williams, who is our full-time attorney. She actually lives in Burnsville, but she's our full-time attorney who practices in the Amy region. And you'll meet her, like I said, in a couple of weeks. But the two of us, I actually have a house, I have a cabin in Burnsville on Lick Skillet Road. And so I'm up that way a lot, a lot more these days too. But really enjoy the area, really enjoy working up there, and getting the word out to the community about our services is really crucial. And sometimes people aren't sure because the breadth of what we do is a little bit complicated and wide. But if you make a referral and it's not the type of case that we handle, like I said before, we will really take strides to refer that person in the right direction and get them where they need to be. So I think I will probably, I'm going to end by just saying, I mean, I could go on, but I will not. I'm going to end by noting that this year we have our 10th annual Justice Forum. So we have held it in person, obviously, for the last 9 years in Asheville. This year it will be via Zoom, and it is Thursday, October 1st. And I will also send a little blurb about that. Send something from our website too. That is where you can see some YouTube videos of the keynote speaker this year. He is a poet with TED Talks, amazing speaker on social justice issues. And so if you want to join it, you don't even have to leave your living room if you'd like to attend this year, but that is our Justice Forum, and that is on October 1st, another Thursday. Got to give that plug for sure. So now if you guys have any questions, or if there's anything you'd like any clarification on, I guess just unmute yourself and have at it.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for all the information on Pisgah Legal. Been familiar with the great work that y'all been doing and up in Bakersfield and Mitchell County. So thank you. It's a shame that you got caught in the COVID issue and had to close offices, because I know y'all were just getting going strong. One question I had is, you're saying the 8-year backlog, or the 8-year average time of getting the immigration status. Is that due to a limited number of cases they'll take or approve a year? What is or is they just don't have enough staff, or they got an overwhelming number of cases, or all the above?
So, 8 years is an average. I have the majority of the cases I file are actually at a 15-year backlog, and those are for something called a U visa. That's a victim of crimes visa. So if someone's been a victim of a violent crime and they're undocumented, they will assist with the prosecution and the investigation of that crime. They can get a temporary 4-year visa, but it takes 15 years to get it. And that is because there are only 10,000 of those visas available every year. And so there is a backlog. There's a wait list, if you will, for that type of case. And many visas that work like that, there's a certain number that the US government allows each year, and a backlog starts. So part of it is, there are certain offices that have been furloughed, and we'll talk about even before COVID hit, right? They don't always have funding. There's been a lot of distraction, if you will, at the border. So a lot of judges have been moved to the La Frontera, the border with Mexico. And so cases aren't processing through the court system, the immigration court system as quickly. So there becomes a backlog. It is a variety of reasons. The other thing is many immigration applications require almost what I call line jumping. So you have to file one type of application and get that approved in order to be able to file the next type of application to get that approved in order to be able to file for your citizenship. And so there's various steps along the way, and that also adds to the backlog of things. So luckily, like I mentioned, I've been 17 years, so I've had the opportunity to see a lot of my cases get approved, which is nice. Go ahead, Marvin.
Talia, I do have a question. Yeah, the 17 years was part of my question. What is the difference that you see now versus 17 years ago when you started? Or what are the differences? And are we making progress? I guess is another way to say that.
I will be honest, the large difference, the most change that I have seen has happened in the last few years. The current administration is not very pro-immigrant, and I have seen that affect processing times. I have seen that affect the discretion. There are certain applications where an immigration officer has a decent amount of discretion. If you meet a few requirements, but maybe you've had a couple of blunders, a few speeding tickets, something in your past, there's discretion that can be involved when an officer decides to approve or deny an application. And I have seen that change the most. They have gotten much stricter. And for an example of that would be oftentimes when I file an application for a victim of domestic violence, and I won't say often, but from time to time, she may also, if the victim's a female, might have a charge in her past for simple assault because it was sort of a cross warrant situation where she was maybe defending herself. And in the past, I would easily be able to explain that and sort of explain that as part of the cycle of violence and that sometimes happens with victims, and I wouldn't be very concerned. That is not the case anymore. So if I have someone who has a situation like that, I'm going to spend a lot more time these days sort of compiling a lot of evidence in her favor to show that even though that did happen once, she's still a person of good moral character. She's still provided a stable household for her kids to attend school regularly, things like that. So I've seen a lot more increase in, I guess, just sort of scrutiny. And the other big thing is the prices. The prices keep going up. When I first started this work, in order to get a work authorization card, it was $80. Now it's $495. So that's changed quite a bit. They're getting ready to increase fees again this October 2nd. So we're really trying to get people in to get evaluated and get their things filed before October 2nd when the fees go up again.
So those are individual fees that people have to make?
Typically every application has a fee involved with it. And that can vary from $80 to $1,400. But each type of application that you file with immigration will have a filing fee. The United States Citizenship and Immigration Service pretty much solely sustains itself on the fees that are paid by people applying for immigration benefits.
And so what would be the cost for somebody today if they were able to get through in a reasonable amount of time? How much in fees would it cost to become a citizen?
To become a citizen? So you would, before you can become a citizen, you need to be a green card holder for either 3 years or 5 years, depending on how you got your green card, because there's a whole bunch of different ways to get a green card. But currently a green card application is running $1,225 plus your medical exam, plus your travel to the interview. And, you know, it's a lot of evidence that you submit. And so, you know, but that's not too bad. That's to get your green card. Once you've got your green card, then you need to wait your 3 or 5 years and then you can apply for citizenship. The real humdinger is that many people don't qualify for green cards. So a very common example that we see is, let's say it's a mixed status family. So we've got a couple of young children who were born in the United States, US citizens. We maybe have a teenage or young adult older sibling who has DACA, which is some people call it DREAMER, or the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. So little kids who were the people that were brought here when they were little kids, they went to high school, they don't have a criminal record, they can apply to get this 2-year work card. And then you've got parents who are likely both undocumented and entered the United States without inspection. So they would probably call it illegal. I prefer the term without inspection. So they came in without inspection. The problem is that entry without inspection will bar them from ever being able to get a green card unless they leave the United States and stay outside of the United States for 10 years. And then they could, their US citizen children, perhaps when those kids turn 21, could apply for them to come back. But they're gonna have that real barrier, to getting a green card because of the way they entered. Okay, there's the real, it's called an inadmissibility issue. So it's when you enter without inspection and then you stay in the United States for more than a year with no status. That's pretty much a deal breaker for getting a green card ever. So we see a lot of people like that. That's not always the case. Say someone came in on a visa to work at a poultry plant and then they overstayed their visa. They just continued to stay on. They did not go back after the 6-month time period ran. Those people can eventually apply for a green card if they marry a US citizen or if they have US citizen children that turn 21. So they might have to wait 21 years, but you know, these are just the nuances and the complexities of our immigration system. You just can't boil it down into a couple of lines. I can't boil it down into 17 minutes. But that's why we really feel like it's important to get people in to our offices or on the computer or the phone now to have a comprehensive consultation with one of us to figure out, is there anything available? Because sometimes there is. Sometimes there's a needle in the haystack, a good one. And we want to talk to each and every family member on their own because everyone's background is different. Everyone's set of circumstances is different. And so as unusual as that sometimes seems, you know, there may be a remedy for the teenage child and not a remedy for the mom or vice versa. So, you know, if you guys can put us in touch with anyone or you think of someone who may know someone where I can do outreach, I speak fluent Spanish, we all do. I'm from Iowa, but I went to school in South America, and we're figuring out new ways to do it, but we certainly are doing it, doing our outreach via Zoom, via Teams, via Google Hangouts, whatever works for the group that we are trying to reach.
Well, Leah, thank you so much for your time. Any other questions?
Lee, if you want, I can send some information out to the group if you send me a link, and I can pass a little more information that way if you'd like.
I will do that.
All right.
This is Nelson, right?
Yeah. I'll send you an email.
You guys, thank you so very much for your time and listening to me ramble on. And I will send my contact information and some additional information And hopefully you'll get to meet my colleague Olivia Williams in the next few weeks, and she can tell you about her whole program. But
She's actually scheduled for next week.
awesome, awesome.
So
yeah.
we have
But-
Pisgah Legal back to back, and so we're very appreciative of that. It's
Yeah.
very important information. I'm with the local FQHC, and we have part of our funding is for migrant and seasonal farm workers. So very important to us, and we know our team uses and refers people to Pisgah Legal all the time. So thank you.
Well, thank you for your time, for letting me go over a little bit, and have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very nice.
All right. It's that's eye-opening, isn't it? Information as to what the folks have to go through to stay here with their children. It's a sad situation.
I don't know who made contact with this lady, but it was an interesting discussion.
Yeah, I met Thalia at a Pisgah Legal fundraiser that they were doing for WWAMI, and that's we had her on the March programs, and of course that never happened. And I look forward to hearing what the lady has to say next week. Also, they're a diverse service group. They really do great.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Very nice.
I think we have the ace of spades.
Yes, we're ready.
All right. So, Robin, you're muted.
Okay. I'm drawing out a number here. Number 3, which is Nelson.
All right.
So Nelson, you get to draw.
Okay, Nelson, I'm kind of going to go through the cards, and you just tell me when to stop. And wherever my thumb is, that's the card.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop.
Okay, this is it.
Oh.
That's not even black.
No, not even close, Nelson.
Sorry about that.
It's the eighth of hertz, huh?
Yeah, how wonderful. All right, anything else before we close with the 4-way test? Anything for anybody? Again, thank you for what you're doing, and let's see if we can bring some more folks in for next week. I think Olivia will have a lot of interesting information for us as the attorney for Pisgah Legal, so that'll be very good. All right, I don't know what that was, but I guess it's a signal for us to do the 4-way test.
Well, it's not too late to donate the cart.
No, it isn't. Yes, thank you. So, anybody else that wants to donate to CART?
Hey, I was asked at a thing for the district. They wanted to know if we had a representative for CART, and I thought Billy was. So, Billy, can I give your information to them to be our club representative? Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week, but let's go ahead and close with the four-way test, Rotary test. Is it the truth?
Truth?
Is it
Is
fair
it
to all
fair to all
concerned?
concerned?
Will it build
Goodwill,
friendships,
friendships.
and will it be
Will it be
beneficial
to all concerned?
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Have a
Have a
good
great
day.
weekend.
Hi. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.